Greetings all, this is Everything Board Games and I am your host, Paul the Techno Funk Boy. Appreciate you hanging out with us today. So I'm in a little bit of different location here, and there's too much stuff. I actually tried to do a video of this earlier in my normal location at my desk, and there was too much to actually wield in that location. So we're going to start over here. But for those who have, you may have seen it, and it's been a good while. I did a review some time ago about a Kickstarter at the time called Tanares RPG for 5th edition. Got to review a kind of a quick start portion of the game that let me play with some of the plot, some of the new character and stuff, and I was super excited about the project at the time, and I've remained so. Now, in just for disclosure, the game was provided for me to me for the purposes of that review. Since then, though, a lot of my friends went ahead and signed up for the Kickstarter based on us doing a little test play of the game at the time, and we have been eagerly anticipating the game coming out. So I did just get my copy of the game. Now the game itself is currently available in some forms. I'm not sure how much they're going to expand or what that offering in the future, but I did want to take a look at exactly what had come, and so we're going to take a look at that today. So the first thing we're going to do is the class pack. Now, a few things are involved in this one. First is a mini set of a lot of the different, specifically the pre-gen characters of these. I love the mini design of these, and this is probably a good time to kind of touch on a little bit about the what stands out about this game itself that you can see a little bit of in just the various details of these minis. I'll put a link to my original review in things, because I'm not going to recap all of this, but my main takeaway at the time was that this is Dungeons and Dragons on steroids. It's not necessarily a beginner's game of Dungeons and Dragons. It's more tactical. There's more abilities. There's more power to it, and there's more things you can do. And so it is in fact so different from Dungeons and Dragons that besides just the basic rolling system, there's not a ton of overlap. This is categorically different in its world, in its mechanics, in all of that. The minis will give you a hint to that. There are some ability cards that are given for some of the different classes to use. Again, this whole class pack is going to be using the names of the pre-gen characters, but these abilities are for use elsewhere, as well as cards for the pre-generated characters themselves. In this hefty monster here of a piece, there's quite a lot. We'll go through just the kind of extras first. The DM screen is using this wide format. Pretty cool picture on the outside. Let's see if we can set that up in the background here. And as well as a fold-out map of the world itself. On the back side of this, we're going to get a map of one of the cities. But the books themselves are the hefty part of this. And so if you do look this up, this is what you're going to see, is that there are, and this kind of goes into the largeness of the world and exactly how different this is from Dungeons and Dragons. The first book of 3, and these books range from 300 plus pages. This player's guide comes in over 300. 325-ish. The artwork in here is very, very vivid. I really like the artwork. I could tell even from the quick start that a lot of care had gone into this. But let's take a look here. A lot of this guide is going to be set to the new rules, the new species, the classes, subclasses, the new options here, and so backgrounds, character options. We have differences here in even our common dwarf, elf, human, halflings species, as well as the new species of Tanares, the Cirrus, the Gloomfolk, the Soulborn, and the Taimaku. New classes: Dragon, Dragonblade, Elementalist, Mad, Walker, Redeemer. I'm trying to remember back. I think that the Quick Start Guide did, and you can check that video below from my original review. I think we got a glimpse of the Dragonblade and the Mad Walker. The Elementalist and the Redeemer have not seen as much. But as I mentioned, if this is D&D on steroids, then what we're really, we need to amp up the regular classes as well. And so we do have new subclasses for our regular ones, and a lot of these are very tempting to me. I haven't mentioned this before, but I am going to be a player in this game, which I'm really excited about, and I'm kind of torn between a couple of different aspects to it. So a lot of this is the let's get over here. I specifically wanted to look at some of these classes. So, for example, like the Elementalist, there is a ton of information here, as well as just pages of spell lists. So, if you're fire, water, air, earth, or fusion spells with specific groupings of elemental, there are pages of spells here. And this is how we're ending up with a 300-page player's guide for this sort of thing. If we go even to, for example, like one of our traditional classes, Ranger. One of the classes that I was looking at is like the Arcane Guardian, that's going to be pulling some mage spells in with the Ranger class that I think turns out to be a lot of fun. Rogue subclass of the Ninja. There are different rules on sorcerers and in that sort of thing. The new classes are some of the really cool things that we saw in the preview that I think turned out to be very, very neat. Okay, first of all, like the Dragonblade, which is a take on an intelligence-driven warrior that we had in our game that turned out to be a lot of fun. Warriors that study dragons and use what they learn from the dragons in battle. Very a lot of really neat ideas here. Beyond that, there's enough here that that we could go all day on here, but I definitely wanted to check out a couple of the other ones. Now, our adventure book. This is, if I'm remembering right, and I think it'll be on the back here. This is going to be a large adventure going from levels 3 to 11. That looks like it was going to be over 8 chapters. We're not going to dig too much into this because, like I said, I'm going to be a player here, and so I don't want to spend too much time digging through these things. Unless it's changed a lot, the first chapter is what we had in the play testing, and it was a ton. It was a ton of fun, and it was really cool, and it made it really made me anxious to learn more. I didn't mention this in the other book, but all the books do have this. There's a ribbon bookmark, which thank you for that. It's a nice, it's like never expected in these things, but it's such a nice touch that I don't know why we don't do it more. And very helpful. As somebody who like endlessly bookmarks these books, it is extremely helpful. Our final book, though, is the source book for the campaign. This is just by the touch of it feels longer, and yeah, coming in at 350 pages. So I think it looks like close to 1,000 pages in all, if not at 1,000 pages. But we noticed that in the player's handbook there wasn't a lot about the world. This is where we're getting more about the world itself. Like the other ones, just very lavishly illustrated, strikingly illustrated, very vibrant colors throughout that I really like. I think these maps are fun and really cool. So yeah, there's I'm going to be spending a lot of time, even not running the campaign. I'm going to be spending a lot of time going through this material. So this is the box set for Tanares. As I mentioned, we'll put links up there. I know for a fact that right now they are available. These books are available on TTRPG in PDF form. I'm hoping that they will continue to support a physical form to these books because they're they're super cool, and I do like having my books physically. I know I'm not alone in that, and so hopefully they will continue to support that in the near future. But I do appreciate you hanging out. Please do hit the subscribe button if you're not subscribed already. Everythingboardgames.com is where you're going to find more reviews, news, Kickstarter spotlights, all sorts of fun things there. So go check that out. Otherwise, I do appreciate you hanging out with me today, and I hope you'll have a great day. Talk to you later.